If you're into tiny spaces or alternative building methods, or you're just a minimalist, you are the one I'm making this video for. I had you in mind when I saw this project, and I can't fit all this in one video. So I have to make it a series with 4 episodes. You already know, if you've been here long enough, you already know that I only feature houses that are well done with a beautiful story behind it. And since this has made it to this channel, trust you me, it is a beautiful story. Welcome to Desert Dew Estate, an establishment that has been tucked away neatly in the heart of Mukima. Mukima is in Nanyuki, Laikipia County, where I have spent a few days trying to check out different buildings, and Nanyuki seems to be the heart of very unique builds. Desert Dew Estate has 4 cabins, at least 4 that I've been able to walk into and interact with, and 4 that I know are up for booking. They are still building more, but I've been able to interact with 4. So the first one would be what we would call a studio unit. Some would call a half bedroom. Then we have 2 bedrooms of different styles and different sizes. We also have a 3-bedroom house, but I will not showcase the 3-bedroom in this series. At the end of this mini series, I will take you through a country house, one that the owner initially started with as her own primary home, but later decided to turn it into an Airbnb because it was too big for her, and now she's building her own tiny house with the same taste and finishes as these cabins, and that is still under construction. Maybe you will see it when I go back to Nanyuki next. But for this season or this mini series, I will take the time to show you these 3 cabins. That will be the studio unit, the 2 bedrooms, and the country house. We'll start off today's tour with the tiniest cabin, and that would be the studio. The studio happens to be the smallest of the cabins built on this property. The whole property is 21 acres, and one thing that I've loved most about this whole establishment is how they've managed to fit in the cabins right in the middle of the natural state of the property. No trees have been cut except for the areas where they intended to place the cabins, and so they've used the rest of the bush as screens for the houses so that each house would still maintain its own independence and privacy without the need of a lot of curtains or a lot of walling or a lot of fencing for that matter. So the outdoor space has a sitting area with a fireplace. Would I call it a chimney? I had showcased the same in the previous video, actually 2 videos before this one. And that's a clear indicator that Nanyuki can be really cold, and a fireplace or a fire pit seems like a necessity in these homes. I've spent a few nights here, and I can confirm that sometimes it can get really cold, even though they have measures to make sure that your indoor temperature is comfortable, including supplying you with hot water bottles. I would still recommend that you travel heavy, especially during this winter season. The outdoor space is quite unique, and I love the fact that you can clearly see that they built around nature. They did not disturb the nature to make the house blend in. Rather, they built around nature. And so, for me, this is a powerful statement that goes to show how sustainable and how in touch with nature these houses or these cabins were intended to be. They tried making the building of these homes as affordable as possible, and so you can see from the outside that they used offcuts to clad the exterior, something that is not very common. Goes to show that these cabins were not intended to look like any other cabin. It's intentionally designed to stand out and to be both affordable and sustainable. They have a full glass door that welcomes the outdoor indoor. And so you have an indoor-outdoor kind of living, something that I feel is really interesting for a cabin as cozy as this. This studio is open plan, and so you can see from one corner to the other, making it look so big, yet it's not that big, and also making it look very comfortable, clean, minimal, and very airy. It is also very minimally decorated, and you can clearly see that the color scheme of this space is white, black, a touch of red, wood, and earthy tones, nothing other than that. And that translates even to the dishes, and that welcomes me to the kitchen, a place where I say is very important to a house. This cabin allows self-catering, and it has all the basics that you might need to make a meal. This cabin can be affordably built with a minimalistic interior with no over-the-top interior finishes, but by no means is this house cheaply furnished if the dishes are anything to go by. This cabin is a good space to start with, especially if you're benchmarking for your next tiny home build, because it's really practical, functional, and affordable. Instead of a standalone cooker, this cabin comes with a 2-burner gas hob. Instead of an extractor hood, this house comes with a huge window around the kitchen area that allows proper ventilation. Instead of overhead cabinetry, they've managed to use the structure of a house to create storage for their mugs, something that is really clever if you ask me. They have wood as their countertop, one that is well sanded and polished, but with a very thin coat of polish. I don't know which kind of wood this is. If you know it by the grains or by the patterns on it, please leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to know. The cabin comes with an under-counter fridge with a fridge and freezer combo. Very decent for such a space, and honestly, you do not need more than that if you're to be in this space. If you've been here long enough, then you know I must test out a kitchen when I get a chance to. And I love how everything is accessible and reachable. You do not need to struggle to get to anything. The plates are right where you can see them. The pots are right where you can see them. The worktop is big enough to allow you make your meal. Sink is good enough to allow you wash your dishes with no issues. Something that I love in a tiny space. I naturally found myself carrying my food to have it outside than inside. And I think this was also intended in the design because they've created 2 outdoor sitting spaces right by the deck to allow you have your breakfast or your lunch as you enjoy the birds. Views of Mount Kenya that I did not capture in this episode. I love how this outdoor space is comfortable for one person, but still has room for a group of people. The environment is good enough for you to do your work. If you wanted a space where you can also relax, be able to do your meetings or finish up on your work, this I think is the best space for you to be in. Next to the kitchen is the toilet and bathroom, and the rustic theme continues all the way to the bathroom area. I love the detailing of this wall that separates the washroom area from the kitchen area. That too is offcuts, the same as what you've seen on the exterior side of the house. And did you notice that there is no door leading you to the bathroom area other than the blue beautiful curtain that separates, that creates a little bit of privacy to this private room. Even in this space, you can clearly see that it is minimalistic with open floating shelf for your towels and soaps and whatever you might need. And the black and wooden texture continues even in this space. Notice the clever use of a deep frying pan as a wash and basin in this bathroom. And you can see a plant peeping from the shower section. Well, this is a reminder to the owner that it took her 7 years to complete this project. Nature had started reclaiming its space since it was taking the owner a little too long for her to complete this project, and so she has left it there intentionally to remind her of the time it took for her to work on this project. Have you also noticed that there is no tile work in this whole cabin? After the bathroom, we come to the bed space, and there is an arc window right where the headboard is supposed to be. And this frames the nature quite creatively, if you ask me. Fun fact, if you go to bed without closing the curtains, then the window works perfectly well as an alarm, because once the sun rises, trust you me, you'll not be sleeping anymore. But if you love to sleep in, then you can draw the curtains and the room will be dark enough to allow you sleep a few more hours. If you like lounging and you prefer being indoors, then the space is not short of options for where you'd want to have either read a book, have short conversations, or just chill out as you browse through your phone or work on your laptop. The house has allowed you multiple options for this. The whole point of booking these cabins is to relax. The owner likes to say that she intended to encourage the art of nothingness. She says that we are an overly stimulated generation, and so she intended to create spaces where someone could just come and forget about the world you've left behind. Forget about your stress, forget about your headache, forget about work. All you come here to do is eat, sleep, do nothing, and take a shower at the end of the day. And that's all she's encouraging you to do. Have you noticed that this whole cabin does not have any source of entertainment in terms of TV or radio? That is very intentional. So when you come here, be ready to be one with nature. She has a strong Wi-Fi though, so you can get to enjoy your social media if you want to, but I wouldn't encourage it. The Wi-Fi is there to allow you work if you came here to work, but if you came here to relax, I'll encourage you to be one with nature. Do not continue your overstimulation with social media. If you wish to book this cabin or any other on this property, I will leave a link on the description box. I will leave a link to their social media platforms as well. You can reach them out on TikTok, Instagram. You can book them via Airbnb. I will also leave their number so that if you wish to call them directly, you can do so. Don't forget to mention that you saw this feature on this channel, Living Tiny with Grace. Also, don't forget to leave a comment of this feature and any other feature you've seen on this channel. Don't forget to share this content as well. It helps to reach out more people who have these spaces that I think are quite resourceful and very unique to be shared on this platform. Think of Living Tiny with Grace as a resource center for people who are looking to do unique structures such as this. No one holds monopoly over creativity or knowledge, and that's why I bring these features to you. And so the next feature will be one of the 2-bedroomed units that I'd mentioned before, and this is just a snippet of what you'll be seeing in the next episode. If you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Grace. I'm an interior designer, a tiny space enthusiast, and I am also into alternative building methods. On this channel, I showcase unique builds with a beautiful story behind it. I also showcase my personal story, but for this is the start of Mukima series.